Have to publish it around bullshit. It's an interesting ecosystem, TikTok. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's
interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind.
That's one word.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
It's it's a young audience, which I think is good for us to reach out to young audience.
Meli wszystkiego, jak widzicie, nie brakuje, nie? Ale nie ma to spokojne jest.
To wszystko w skale. To też zdaje się lepsze w skale niż tak Warszawa, która ma fatalne warunki geologiczne.
Tam jakieś te podmokłe piaski, ciągle
Tak,
jakieś
tak.
problemy były z tym.
Wiecie, bo to lodowiec był tam 1,5 czy 2 kilometry grubości z pasą. Poza tym
Extant means it's not extinct. It's still living today, right?
You know that.
I'm just this is for the audience, Bob. Just relax.
Chill, Bob.
Chill.
That's amazing.
Know this word. 1004s. Should I know that?
Tinophores.
Tinophores.
It's a comb jelly,
Yeah.
so that helps.
Grape, vanilla,
Okay.
and strawberry. Yeah. Okay. Wow. 700
Did you
million
just make like
years.
a jam/jelly joke, Evan?
That's for the audience to decide. Yeah, it threw me off.
Freaking,
Totally.
Yeah, this was the gotcha one. I was hoping you were going to say 700 before the camera exploded. No way.
That's what I thought.
But yeah, there are fossilized recognizable ctenophores that go back 700 million years. So that makes them the oldest. I mean, they basically branched off from all animals right when animals came into existence. You know what I mean? Pretty much soon after that.
I don't like
That's
you guys.
cool.
See you later.
Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah.
That's where
No, it's the other way around. Damn it. Yeah.
This is, again, morphologically, these things look the same as they did 450 million years ago, and they do look like something out of the ancient oceans of the earth.
Oh yeah, look at that thing. Holy. Born in 1802, she died in 1876.
And this is somebody could have said this today.
Exactly. That's the point. That's why I really like this quote. Totally. Ahead of her time.
Well, it's also, I think, yes,
In a way.
it deserves full credit for that, but it's also, I think, a manifestation of the fact that some things just never change.
That's
You know?
right. Yeah.
It's like we're dealing with, and we know that now as skeptics, like the same things just cycle around over and over and over again. It's never ending. It's a very...
Put down the accelerator and goes. They have to work with you. If you stick your nose out, well, they need to back off because it's going to take you an awful long time otherwise. So look, you just have to be kind of just aware of it. A lot of guys, a lot of time on the UHF you hear lads, using expletives and giving out about car banners and all that. But
Trzeba było zrobić. Ja tylko nie jestem pewien, czy mając tak gigantyczną władzę w rękach Bukarest nie zrezygnuje. Wydaje mi się, że nie. Wydaje mi się, że on jeszcze długo będzie się utrzymywać u władzy.
Staranie listów jest też czymś bardzo wyjątkowym, bo później przysyłam zdjęcia, fotografie.
Rozumiem, że mówisz o listach tak zwanych tradycyjnych, to znaczy nie w formie elektronicznej.
Tak, dokładnie. Aczkolwiek ostatnio już coraz częściej w formie elektronicznej, przez WhatsAppa na przykład z księdzem.
You just can't imagine being delivered that news at the moment and then seeing this in the news. That's awful. Just going to add to people's anxiety so much. Ian Dunn wrote RE all of this. I mean, I'm not a political communications expert, but I'm not sure this is the best way to launch NHS Week. It's awful. And of course, we all know with cancer as well, it's early detection and early treatment that really saves lives. So yeah, it's really frightening. Yeah, McRoadster wrote, 9 years ago I was life, but I recall the sheer terror of waiting even a few days. This is a cruel and despicable decision for an uncaring, cruel government. It's so weird. Like, this is what they're doing, Gemma, when they have got the mic.
Colwyn, the kids that were going a new way to Abersock because it'll be busy on A55 past Colwyn Bay. We're going to have to go down to Shrewsbury and come up that way over Betsy Coed.
Pani Krystyno, chciałem jeszcze spytać Panią na koniec, bo...
To jest koszmarne, to wszystko razem jest tak do bólu koszmarne, jest ordynarne, jest tak odstręczające, że słów brak właśnie przez to, że Prigorzyn jest częścią władzy. On jest uosobieniem tego, czym jest władza Putina.
Facet, który spędził 9 lat w kolonii karnej, który...
Ale tam nie ma...
Na przykład przede wszystkim nawozy, które mogłyby wykarmić większą liczbę.
And I want to point out first of all that in all the other books we've had chapter 1, which is about thing, and thing. We've changed it. This is a more literary version. Now it says chapter 1, in which I tell of.
Like it's putting booming Papa into everything.
Yeah. That could also be a difference between Thomas Warburton and Elizabeth Porch, though.
Indeed.
We'll see as we continue.
Since we started with a quote from him.
Being honest sometimes about your intentions. I think when you pretend and create a process around a pretend decision, that's where you start riling up a lot of conflict. I think one, when you don't acknowledge just kind of bigger issues that are happening in the neighborhood, like even bike lanes. Bike lanes are just, it brings out the emotions in every community. And it's not so much about the bike lanes itself. It is you're challenging my culture of, you know, I may come from a person where no, you should drive. Driving is a symbol of status. So why would you put this bike lane? Because that means poor people are going to bike. Like, no. Or in some cases in, you know, maybe lower income neighborhoods, not that I don't want the bike lane, but I ride the bus. Like, you're trying to force me to do something different. I already don't have a car. I'm trying.
Z słabszym wynikiem, ale ponad progiem, mogłaby być tym koalicjantem Prawa i Sprawiedliwości, czy też Twoim zdaniem to jest absolutnie wykluczone?
No to oczywiście znowu zależy od tego, ostatecznie Prawo i Sprawiedliwość.
Więc w sumie ciekawy jest do oglądania. Więc on ma szansę teraz w ciągu najbliższych 2 miesięcy kampanii wyborczej posurfować tej wznoszącej fali, na której się znajduje i najzwyczajniej w świecie zdobyć tych 45% głosów albo 40%.
Senior pediatrician at the Countess of Chester Hospital where she worked, and he said hospital managers, this is shocking, ordered him and colleagues to...
Powiedziały władze etiopskie. W związku z czym, choć dzisiaj odpowiedź brzmi nie wiem, być może, choć nie jestem tutaj bardzo dużym optymistą, ale być może dowiemy się...
No, potencjalnie świr, zabójca i tak dalej, albo jest to więzień z jakiejś kolonii karnej, więc kryminalnie, więc lepiej z nimi do czynienia. Więc chłopaki w mundurach wchodzą sobie do metra, a ludzie się od nich odsuwają i nie chcą.
Into how the ghostly particles called neutrinos might interact with each other during supernova. This could have implications for amazing new physics and new discoveries that I have been waiting many years for. The study is called the least well-known subatomic particles. They have no charge. They rudely only care about the reinforcing gravity. That's it. So they can essentially blithely fly through regular matter, like a light year of lead, for example, without interacting with anything, or a light year of steel, for that matter. But they may be more friendly with each other than we think, and that potential friendliness, if you will, may lead to new physics. So let's explore that for a second. So why do we think the neutrino may? So why is that important? It's because it's the nearest supernova to Earth that was detected with modern astronomy tools. That's it. We haven't had one since, and it's been many centuries before. It was really a cruel twist of irony. The telescope was invented just after the last detectable supernova occurred in our galaxy in 1604, way back in 1604, and documented by Johannes Kepler himself. Since then, at least statistically, there should have been...
22 made it into orbit on August 19th. Now, on September 6th of 2019, it released their moonlander, but officials lost contact with it just over a mile.
Ukrainę. I atakowanie tych baz jest niezwykle ważne, no bo jak te samoloty będą musiały startować z jakichś lotnisk dalej, w głębi...
Perspective enjoys the ardent support of several tech billionaires, including Elon Musk, who have financed a network of like-minded think tanks, grants, and scholarships. It has also attracted criticism from members of the first school, who observe that such doomsaying is useful for the industry because it diverts attention away from the real, current problems that its products are responsible for. If you project everything into the far future, notes America.
Które zadają sobie Estończycy, bo że wstrząsnęła samą panią premier, to jest jasne. Polityka estońska jest bardzo wrażliwa na kwestie rosyjskie. Tematem ostatniej kampanii wyborczej były próby wpływania na estońskie wybory w 2019 roku przez rosyjskiego oligarchę Jewgenija Prygorzyna. To wówczas wywołało wiele napięć politycznych. Na razie wszystkie trzy partie, które są w rządzie, czyli Partia Reform, pani premier Liberalna, Estonia 200 i Partia Socjaldemokratyczna, chcą, żeby ten rząd przetrwał i raczej dystansują się od tych.
Long video about how great carbon dioxide is. That man at the very end was Sherwood Itso himself, the most soft-spoken of all of them. Now, what's interesting about this video and the other one that came out in 1998 is that several of the scientists were duped into appearing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like a hostage video with that lady.
So these are just the quotes that I could find. I couldn't find anything from, I think her name is Mary Bracky. I couldn't find anything from her specifically, but Dr. Louis Ziska, a plant...
Wcześniej nie był używany, bo też w ogóle od czerwca dopiero pojawiły się te narzędzia. No i działaliśmy nad tym, żeby próbować wszystkie narzędzia i żeby ogarnąć, jak powinien proces wyglądać, żeby to działało, żeby było logiczne i proste. No i dzisiaj
stabilize the climate. We get big spikes in temperature, we get some big dips in temperature, and these are all things that are not positive for plant growth. So even though, maybe the flowers are a little greener, it's actually worse for the planet as a whole to destabilize the system that's shepherded plants and crops to where they are today.
I guess the flowers were pretty bad that year after a huge flood ripped through the neighborhood.
That's right. These are sort of negative implications that come.
No to współczuję panu profesorowi, który się tak zaangażował w politykę, najpierw nieoficjalnie, później bardziej oficjalnie, a teraz odpowiada za to.
Quite often he rants, right? He makes me laugh, and when he sees me laughing, he laughs. He knows what he's doing. He's just, he's playing a game. But I think they're all playing a game. Some more cynical than others. They don't necessarily believe it, but it gets viewers or listeners, and so it's pure self-interest.
I'm glad he likes you. Yeah, so he's not a fan of ours, is he?
Of course, when the problems come, we haven't got what you need. The new form of storage is for electricity, and we haven't failed to build it yet. We're beginning to, but that's very new on the block. So we've been able to store gas for forever, and storing electricity is a new frontier that we have to crack in order to get to what we call the smart grid to enable us to be 100% powered by green electricity. Behind the curve yet.
And also, we just leak out energy from our homes. So I think we've got the shittiest in terms of energy efficiency houses in
Archeologii w Egipcie, Sudanie, na Bliskim Wschodzie, w basenie Morza Śródziemnego, tym się pan głównie zajmuje. Czego się poszukuje? O czym się marzy? O czym rozmawiają z podnieceniem archeolodzy? Nie wiem, o grobowcu Kleopatry? Ktoś jest jakoś blisko jakiegoś odkrycia? Jak to wygląda?
To jest kolejny temat rzeka, pan otworzył tym pytaniem. Dlatego, że powszechne spojrzenie na archeologię to jest archeologia polegająca na odkrywaniu.
No nie jest tak?
Wielkie odkrycia, wspaniałości, nagłówki w gazetach.
Taka jest niemal identyczna, nie? Tylko się inaczej rozwiązuje.
No, ale to można na to patrzeć niekoniecznie jako na
Nienawidzę
plagiat.
czegoś takiego, kurwa. Nienawidzę.
Tylko to jest to jakaś...
As the northern and southern lights. Now, our own inner and outer radiation belts were discovered in 1958 by the first American satellite called, come on people, the first American satellite, Telstar.